Hi guys, Yong here, and welcome to this week trade idea episode. Today we're gonna talk about some of the opportunities available that I'm personally monitoring for this week. But more importantly, I want to leverage and use this opportunity to share with you a very important concept of what we call risk exposure and how to manage in a situation where you do have various or a few trades set up that you are looking to take, but at the same time you need to monitor the risk exposure, right? In other words, these few trade setups that you're looking at has similar currency involved and the correlation between them is rather high. Okay, so you do need to take note of that. Okay, so let's dive into what are the opportunities available and to share with you a little bit into how you can manage such situation when you are faced with similar contexts during your own trading. Okay, so now the first one here, of course, you can see on the chart here is Euro Pound. What we are seeing over here, of course, is we do have, this is on the 4-hour chart, right? So what we have over here, of course, is we do have a mini impulse and a correction, okay? And therefore, we are looking for more upside opportunity. And if I bring you to the daily chart, okay, you can see, of course, over here, we do have a very corrective nature of price coming down. We do have a potential mini double bottom over here as well, and overall it looks like this can give us another push to the upside, right? So from the larger time frame perspective, and of course on the 4-hour time frame perspective, we are looking for the upside. Okay, so if we are buying the Euro Pound, then naturally in relation to Pound, we are actually selling it. Okay, so I want to take note of that, right? And another potential setup that I'm monitoring is on the Pound Australia for this week. Okay, and you can also see over here on, let me bring you to daily, we do have this high here tested 3 times, right, around that region. And on the 4-hour time frame, we do see a 3-wave down, and potentially this can develop into a bigger corrective 3-wave pattern. And from there, we do anticipate another 3-wave move to the downside to complete this entire move. Okay, and again, if you're looking to sell the Pound Australia, in relation to the Pound, we are looking to sell it again. Okay, so in terms of Euro Pound, we are selling the Pound. In terms of Pound Australia, we are also selling the Pound. Okay, and the other pair that we are looking at, of course, is also the Pound Yen and the Pound Franc. Okay, so in this case, this is the Pound Franc. Okay, on the daily time frame perspective, we are looking for the short-term move to the downside. Okay, you can see over here, this is a bigger corrective pattern that we anticipate after this move down. Eventually, there's a higher chance of it going back up. Okay, so for this week here, we are looking for the short-term trade to the downside. And over here, we can see this is an impulse correction combination. We are looking for this move to continue to the downside. Okay, so again, right now on Pound Franc, we are looking to sell the GBP, the Pound. Okay, and the last one over here is on Pound Yen. Okay, so on the daily time frame, this is a very clean setup as well. You can see from this high here, you have an impulse, a 3-wave correction that is completed. Okay, from a daily point of view. And if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, we do have from this high here an impulse correction, and we anticipate another push to the downside. Okay, so again on Pound Yen, we are looking to sell, and we are looking to sell the Pound. Okay, so from this 4 trade ideas and opportunities available, right, you realize that out of all these 4, in terms of the Pound, we are looking to sell it. Okay, and as a trader, you want to be aware of that, what we call a total risk exposure on Pound, because if we are looking to sell and execute these 4 trades, and you know, if let's say something happened in the market that affects the Pound directly and it is going against our position, okay, then what will happen is that if we have 4 trades running concurrent, there will be a very high chance if something happened to Pound that go against our initial direction that we want, then these 4 trades, there's a very high chance of losing. Okay, and you want to be aware of it even before you execute these 4 trades. okay, because you want to, number one, ask yourself, are you okay and can you accept the fact that there's a high chance that if something happened to pound, you might lose all 4 trades instantly, okay, in a very short period of time. And of course, you want to then also check, okay, if you can't accept that in terms of the risk, okay, then how do you manage it? Okay, so in today's video here, while we are sharing on the ideas, okay, I want to also take this opportunity to touch a little bit more into how you can manage such situation and context. Okay, so over here, okay, what I want you to take note then is one of the easiest way to do it is, of course, to reduce your entire risk per trade. So initially, if for example you are doing 1% per trade, okay, then what you want to do right now is perhaps reduce it to 0.5. Okay, and by cutting half of it and you take all 4 of the trades, you realize that your maximum risk exposure, if you lose all 4 of these trades, reduced to only 2% instead of 4. Okay, that's one way. That's the most easiest and the direct way to manage your total risk exposure. The other technique here you can do is to do filtering. Maybe out of this 4, how do you pick, the pairs that has the highest possibility or the pair that you are aligned with the most? Okay, so if you take a look at this, right, how I'll do that if I'm looking at it is, I'll just scan through and I'll take a look at even the daily time frame to understand where we are in terms of the big picture perspective, right? Okay, so if I take a look at the daily from this 4 pairs here, right, I can see that of all 4, okay, the pound franc on the higher time frame is slightly different in a way that on the daily time frame on pound franc, okay, we can see that the higher longer time frame perspective here is eventually we are looking for the buy side, right? But for the pound yen, okay, the room to the downside is here. If you take a look at pound Australia, the downside here is here. Okay, it's pretty significant, and of course euro pound here, the upside is huge, right? So if you ask me to kind of like filter off one of the pair, right, to eliminate one of it, then I'll take away pound franc in this process. Okay, so from 4 pairs of pound exposure, I'll reduce myself to 3, right? I took away 1. Now if I want to take away another one, then perhaps I will be taking away, I would say, maybe pound yen. Okay, in the context of, let's say right now, if we are in a risk-on environment, okay, understanding between pound yen and pound Australia, okay, if we are in a risk-on, people are willing to take risks, then Australia would tend to strengthen more than the JPY, okay, and for that reason, then maybe I'll take away the pound yen. Okay, so something like this, you'll be able to. You are able to do this only when you have a full grasp and understanding of various factors in the financial market. Okay, and of course we won't be able to go deep into like how to do it specifically, what are some of the factors that you want to consider, etc. Okay, but I hope through this week's sharing, okay, while we are looking at these 4 trades, okay, they are definitely high probability trades. But at the same time, because we are looking at so many pound pairs, it's important to touch on this conversation called risk exposure. Okay, and I hope through this week's idea, sharing with you not just which are the pairs you can potentially focus and look out for, but more importantly also is when you are faced with such context, how do you manage your total risk exposure? Okay. So I hope that's clear. Okay, if you have any questions, again, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to assist you, answer your questions. If you have not subscribed to the channel, okay, make sure you do that so that whenever I release a new video, you'll be the first one to be notified. Okay, so that's all from me in this week, and all the best to your trading week, and I'll see you guys again in the subsequent videos.